Today on Storm Surge. Enlistment, enrollment, entrepreneurship, and employment were on the mind of many last Friday, and a sweet festival for a sturdy cause. And then, we caught up with Mr. May for all things student services. Get pumped, strap down, Storm Surge starts right now. Good afternoon, Lake Weir. I'm Richard Mosley. At Lake Weir, our mission is to prepare students for life after high school. Last week, we took to the gym to explore an event that will help students find their way.
We had a career fair this past Friday here at Lake Weir. Many colleges, after-school programs, businesses, and each branch of the military came down to talk to our students about their future.
So the career fair is, for me, it's extremely important because a lot of times students aren't aware of what they want to do. They need some ideas. They don't know how to get the resources to go to college, scholarships, and things like that. So it's real important to expose them to this kind of stuff, including jobs, right? They don't know even how to get jobs, how to do applications. So it's real important to expose them to this kind of information.
It's a fun time for students to learn about different job opportunities and potential colleges.
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty chill. Everybody here is pretty open about everything. Then they don't have no problem in asking questions, answering questions. They always have an answer to every question that you have, honestly.
Not every student wants to go to college, and there are plenty of opportunities that are available for these students.
William Martyr, my boss, does not actually have a college degree, and he runs a multi-million-dollar company because real estate and construction is just a really great niche to get into that you can start with or without a college degree. So
the career fair offers many opportunities for our students, and we hope it gives them something to think about.
Florida hosts an annual strawberry festival in Plant City, and Ocala holds one as well, but for a cause.
Hello, I'm here at the Strawberry Festival here in Ocala, being hosted by Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity, or Habitat for short, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing housing for low-income families.
Habitat hosts the Strawberry Festival annually to raise money to build a new house, and this year is no different. All the proceeds during this event were raised towards building a new house called the Strawberry House, which will be available for low-income families. Here are some standout highlights from the event.
Hello.
He's a veteran, a history teacher, and an anime enthusiast. Today we look at someone you should know, Mr. King.
Yeah, so I actually joined the military pretty early, like right after high school. So I believe I was 19 when I first signed up. I went to Great Lakes, which is in Chicago, for boot camp. Then I ended up going to Mississippi for school, then getting orders to Norfolk, Virginia. My career, like I said, was I guess normal, like anybody who spends just 4 years in, but at the same time it was different. I was an AG, which is an aerographer's mate, so I did weather, so I was a weatherman in the Navy. I did my 4 full years and I got out after that just because I wanted to do the family life. I did the whole marriage thing, I did all that stuff while I was in. So a couple of the biggest things that happened to me was, once again, deployment, right? So I got to go to a lot of foreign countries, see how things are in other countries, because like I said, most of us only know what America is. We only know what our culture is here, and going over to these other countries, like I said, it was really nice to see how other people do things and how things adjust. Another thing too was I got to learn a lot about how to adapt and overcome things, right? So before I was in the Navy, I didn't really understand what it was like, hey, when things are hard, what should you do? While I was in, I learned quickly that you have to adapt, right? You have to figure out solutions and answers to these problems, when before I was more of just like, things will possibly work out, you know? I learned a lot when I was in the military that you have to adapt and overcome what happens, right? Whether it's something as simple as, hey, you got this assignment, I need you to do it today, I'll get it done today, right? Like no matter what, I'll get that assignment done for the day. It also helped build structure, right? Like when I was younger, didn't know where I was going, the military helped give me that sense of purpose, that idea of like, hey, you can do more than what you're doing. And every day it helped me basically become the leader that I am, which I believe I'm a leader. I have kind of taken leadership positions in every job I had, all the way to the point where now I'm a teacher, and technically, whether people believe it or not, we are in charge of leading you guys not only in your assignments, but also just throughout your life, hopefully getting you guys prepared for what the real world will be. So for me, that's the biggest thing, I think, is just the leadership and the ability to adapt when I need to.
Last week, Lake Weir's health sciences class got some hands-on experience. Storm Surge reporter Johnny Detman takes us to their birthing lab.
Lake Weir High School allows students to join HOSA. Ms. Carey, a HOSA teacher, dives deeper into the explanation.
In this program, it's a career and technical education program, so we want to help prepare students for future jobs. In the healthcare industry, it's really important that students know some basic soft skills: being on time, being dependable, having a good work ethic, being professional. We tie that into this program with our uniforms. Students are expected to wear a uniform on our skills day, our lab day, to teach them professionalism. And we work with people from outside the school system in the community, the firefighters and things come in, and we learn to talk with professionals and use professional language with them.
Students learn hands-on activities such as CPR, basic life support, and they even learn how to properly deliver a child.
Students have a hands-on opportunity to be someone at the side of a woman that's giving birth, and to know the right procedures and steps to ensure safety for the mother and for the baby. If you are looking towards a career in healthcare, this is a great first step. You learn basics on anatomy and physiology, how the body works, how to apply basic medical terminology. It's just a really good overall program.
HOSA to me, it's kind of like a family to me. It helps me broaden my experience. I've made a lot of friends through HOSA. It's definitely a big part of my life. I hope to do it for all 4 years. I've done it 3 years in my high school experience. I hope to do it next year. It gives me opportunities to volunteer, meet new people, talk to people from hospitals, and helps me further my experience with our competitions and stuff.
HOSA continues to play a vital role in preparing the next generation of health providers and leaders through education and hands-on experience. In Ocala, Jonathan for Storm Surge.
It's a Thursday favorite at the Forest Community Center and is designed to bring the community together with music. Storm Surge's Nevaeh Leggett has the story.
I'm Nevaeh Leggett, and I've come down to the Forest Community Center, where a bunch of locals have come down to show their passion and talent for music and to jam with other locals and make new and old friendships. Let's take a look.
Well, it helps me because I get to learn from the better musicians, so it's kind of like a good practice for me. I've loved music since I was a young boy, and I'm not a young boy anymore, so it's been a long, long time. I always enjoyed different types of music.
Billy DeLone, I'm the one that started jam for the Forest Community Center about 13 years ago, maybe longer. And we've been running year-round just to give enjoyment to people so they can come out and play music of all levels. Some people learn off other people, and some people they just move along as they, and we usually have a crowd right now to 30 to 40 people. And in summertime, we've been doing well. It's keeping people here and stuff with other programs in. This has been ongoing, like I said, for quite a few years.
I mean, socializing mostly, but music oriented, and I enjoy that. I enjoy having the conversation with music. My whole life. I started with string instrument probably when I was 12. I'm now 70, so that's a while, and it's made a little money on the side from time to time, and that's a benefit, but really that's not what it has been about over the years.
Nevaeh Leggett in Oglawaha for Storm Surge.
Coming up on the other side of the break, we have all the details on what the Student Services Office has to offer other than a referral. Welcome back. Storm Surge's Landon Stead sat down with Mr. May, and he gave us some insight on how to stay out of his office.
Hi, I'm Landon Stead, here with Mr. May. Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, happy to be here.
What are some ways that we can stay out of your office?
Okay, well, that's a good question, and we hear that a lot. People just wanting to know the best things to do on campus and how to stay out of trouble, so to speak, or stay out of student services. Some of the best ways to stay out of student services is just to make sure you're following the student code of conduct. The student code of conduct is out there, everyone has access to it, and it's really our guideline. It lets us know exactly what we need to do to get to, as far as getting to class on time, our expectations in the classroom, on the school campus, and all that stuff. So really, just if you want to stay out of student services, just follow the student code of conduct. Just be respectful and polite on campus, and remember that if a dean or myself or someone comes to talk to you, it doesn't necessarily mean you're in trouble. Sometimes a lot of people see us and the first thing they think is, oh, I've done something wrong. Just remember that sometimes we just want to check on you, want to talk to you. We may be investigating something and just want to ask a question. So just remember that we're here to help, and you're not always in trouble when we come to talk to you.
Are there any other reasons that would be good for us to be in your office?
Oh, absolutely. There's several different things. You could be coming by to get a parking permit. You could be coming by because you've done something positive and we want to talk to you. It could be that you're coming to report something. That could be a safety concern on campus. And there's all kinds of things, anything from something that could be going on with students that need our assistance, something with the building that needs to be reported. Or we've called you down to ask for help with something. So there's some good reasons to be in our office as well. And just to come and say hi, we'll take that as well.
Are there some main reasons that we would get like referrals?
Some of the main reasons that students do get referrals and some things that could be leading up is we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the school year. Spring break's coming up, so the weather starts getting warm. Students like to hang out a little bit more outside and things like that, but some of the main referrals that we see is just being late for class, tardies. So we're starting to see a little bit of uptick in that, so just make sure we get to class on time. Make sure when we leave class that we go where we're supposed to go. You know, everybody should have a hall pass, and it should tell them exactly where they're supposed to go. So make sure that they don't deviate from where their hall pass says. Make sure they abide by the appropriate time limit to be out of class. Electronics, make sure that we put our electronics away when we go to class, headphones, cell phones, any type of electronics. Those are really some of our big things that we see coming and going a lot.
What are some of the ways that we can avoid tardies?
Okay, some of the ways that we can avoid tardies is obviously not taking too long during class change. In the mornings when the bells start ringing, start heading to your class. In between class, don't hang out. Like I said, the weather's starting to warm up. You know, people want to hang out outside a little bit as they do their transitions. Just make sure that you go ahead and get to do your transition properly in the amount of time. It's a big campus, but there's really plenty of time in between class to get there. You can pretty much get where you want to go. So just be mindful of it. Just understand that your education's important, and the teachers they really like to get started teaching when that bell rings, so they would really like to have everybody in there. So just be mindful of your time, be really respectful of your own self that you want to get there and learn. So just make it a point to get to class on time. And then as far as the tardies go, remember that it's on that fourth tardy, there's a procedure walking up as you progress through the tardies. On that fourth tardy that we do have a lunch detention for that. So I'm sure most people don't want to give up their lunch time with their friends, so just make sure you're getting there so you don't go up the progression chart to lose your lunch.
What are some ways that we can stay out of the office?
Okay, some of the ways that you can stay out, and some of the things that we do to help students stay out of our office is we try to be visible on campus. We try to be not just student services where you go to get in trouble. We try to be out there mingling with the students, trying to be a positive role models on campus. That's for starters. And then we always try to stay ahead of things. If we think something's going on campus or anything, we try to stay ahead of the process and be getting out in front of it and be active to help students. We try to stay in the hallways and just make sure that we urge students to go on to class and get there on time. We try to make things available for them as far as understanding the student code of conduct. So it's out there, it's on the website, it's on the district website. We try to get it out there for the teachers to make sure that the students have access to it. So we just try to educate people on knowing exactly what the student code of conduct says for anything, whether it be dress code, tardies, getting in, plagiarism, anything. There's a lot of things in the student code of conduct. So we just try to make sure that students are educated with it, and then we try to be available to help them, just to, like I said, to be proactive. So if somebody has a question, just come to us and we'll try to help them.
Do you have anything else you would like to share with the students?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, student services, obviously that's a place where students go and they receive consequences for different choices they've made, but we want students to know that we're a place that you can come for assistance. We're here on campus because we like students. We care about our students. So we have three wonderful deans, Miss Beam, Mr. Fronius, Miss Hayes, Miss Cunningham working in there. She's always there to help counsel students and myself. So just know that we're available. We're not just here to be the person that gives you a consequence or something. We're here to help with anything. If you need assistance with academics or have a question about athletics or anything on campus, just come to us. We're out and about as much as we can, and you can always email us, and we'll do everything we can to help each and every student on campus.
Thank you for coming in, Mr. May. I'm Landon Stead. Back to you.
We are just minutes away from spring break, and Christian Wells is in with the weekend forecast.
Good afternoon, Lake Weir. It's a comfortable 77 degrees with partly cloudy skies here in Ocala right now. Looking ahead into the afternoon, temperatures are dropping down into the low 50s with clear skies. Heading into the weekend, Saturday's temperatures will rise into the hot 80s as we end the day in the cool 60s with cloudy skies. Sunday, the temperature will be in the hot 80s as the day ends with a brisk 60s with mostly cloudy skies leading into the break. That's all we have for weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Christian. After the break, Andrew Barber is in with all things sports.
Mason, I brought you here for something very important. How do you get Riz?
Excuse me? Who are you? You don't just get Riz.
You can't just get Riz.
Of course not. There's a few steps on how to get Rizzy. Duh. This was me. Unrizzy. Step 1. These? Get these out of here. Now these are Rizzy.
Seriously?
Yes, duh.
Tell me something useful.
Gosh, okay. Step 2, take care of your hygiene. Nobody wants a nasty bum. Hey.
What, freak?
Well, I just wanted to, ask if you wanted to, hang out later.
Ew, no. Who do you think you are? Ugh, you stink. Man. She's got a point, you know.
Whatever, let's just get to the next step already. Step 3, have a good pickup line that will win her over. Hey, are you from Tennessee?
What?
Because you're, the only 10 I see. Yikes, wrong example. Hey, Claire.
Hey, Mason.
Something must be wrong in my eyes. I just can't seem to take them off you.
Oh, my.
How many steps are there?
One more, actually.
Oh, continue, please.
Thank you. The last step is really simple, but the most important.
Okay.
Actually do it.
That's it?
Yep.
That might be the dumbest thing I've heard you say yet.
It's true, though. To be the real Riz master, you must commit, dude.
Okay, dude. I guess that's it then.
Who even are you, anyway?
Oh, right.
Claire, it was you?
Yeah, I didn't learn much, though. See you later.
Hey, Claire. Hey! You're just gonna leave me here?
Welcome back. A busy day in the sports department. Andrew, take it away.
I'm Andrew Barber. Today we'll
many-
take a look at a student who excels off and on the field.
Here at Lake Weir, we have many star athletes. Let's highlight one of our Lady Canes.
Kira is an amazing player. She's going to go D1 after her first year, of course. She's a home run hitter. Every game there's a home run. You don't even think about an error when you think about Kira. You just think, okay, you know she's got it.
She's always motivating all the girls, being honest, telling them the truth, trying to help out. If they do something wrong, she turns around and tries to work with them and just gives positive feedback all the time.
I knew I wanted to pursue a career when I was around 13, when I continuously would watch college games over and over again and watch certain players and want to be where they are.
Now that we have seen a star athlete, let's see how she is off the field.
So Kira's a really caring and compassionate person. She cares deeply about what she does, and she's really passionate about what she does. If she wants to do something, she's going to do it. She's a really heavily motivative person as well. So she's going to be behind you every step of the way and motivate you every time.
So the energy level that she ends up having, is phenomenal. She's most of the time when we do our cheers and chants, she's probably one of the loudest ones that ends up chanting for us.
Now we can see how such a passionate player has impacted her team.
So I've played softball with Kira since my freshman years when I first met her when she first moved to Florida. And since I've met her, she's been by my side the whole time. She's got my back on anything. If I make an error, she's there. If she makes an error, I'm there. Like, we're there for each other. We cheer each other up. We don't let nothing happen to each other. And we kind of took each other under each other's wings. So I'm her backup man. She's my backup man. We got each other if needed.
So I ended up meeting Kira about 3 years ago when I first came here to Lake Weir, and saw that she had the most potential to make it into college, and saw her grow up through the years. Saddened to see her go as her final year.
Softball means a lot to me because my parents put me in softball when I was like, I don't know, like 3 years old, and I stuck with it ever since, and it's just become a really big part of my life. And I've always watched like college games and always aspired to be those people.
We see how softball helps Kira on the field, but how does it affect her?
It's a really big part of me and who I am now. It allowed me to become a leader on the field and make new friends and like open up a lot more with new people.
In Ocala, Addison Boynton for Storm Surge.
Thanks, Madison. Now let's check out our upcoming matches and meets. Tonight our baseball team is competing here at the Weir against Crescent City at 7 p.m. Skipping over to Wednesday, our baseball team is having a home game at 1 p.m. against Baker County. And ending off our sports report on Friday, our softball team is making the drive over to Lake Merrill for their game at 6:30 p.m. Good luck, ladies. If you are interested in becoming an athlete, we have some words of wisdom for some of the Lake Weir's best.
How do I become an athlete? If you want to play a sport, there is a sport here for you. There's sports that sometimes we have numbers. Our wrestling team's a good example. We had a very good wrestling team this year, but we didn't have all the weight classes filled. And it's likewise to other sports. Again, you don't have to be interested in just wrestling. It could be football, it could be tennis, it could be girls softball, any type of sport. If you are interested in being an athlete, there is an opportunity, and all you have to do is come down and see me and I can steer you in the right direction.
I would tell them it's a grind, but it's family. You meet a lot more friends. You get to be with them all throughout the season.
Well, I would push them to do it because it's new. You should always try new things, but you'll never know if you're good at it if you don't try it. So I think you should try it.
For the freshmen that are coming in, I want to say this as best as possible. Not even just wrestling. Do activity. That's how the school gets better. All the people who say that the school's not doing good enough, that we're trash, all that, it's because they're not doing enough. Join clubs, join activities, do band, do chess, do something like that. Do a sport. All these things that Lake Weir is providing us, we have great teachers, a great principal, all great athletic trainer, all these people who are supporting us and trying to give us a great opportunity in high school. You come into this, you take over. You can make it to states as a freshman. Just continue to work hard. You know, I know you could do stuff as jobs and all that's important as well, but do something for your school, something. This is something you're going to remember for a lifetime. It is a 4-year experience that you're never going to be able to do again after you graduate. So when you are here, making the most of your opportunity, and I just want to say to the freshmen that it's going to be wet, but it's going to be worth it.
For more information on how to become a student athlete, please visit our athlete doctor, Coach Koff, in Building 1, and that's all we have for sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. That wraps it up for today. Follow us on X and Instagram at LWHS_StormSurge. And remember to show your Hurricane Pride daily. P is for having purpose. R is for showing respect for others. I is for being involved both academically and socially. D is for being dependable. And E is for striving for excellence in everything that you do. On behalf of the entire Storm Surge crew, I'm Richard Mosley. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and a wonderful spring break.